Hello there wrestling fans, Adam from What Culture here, fresh off the heels of another episode of Monday Night Raw. This one, perhaps not the best, I have to say. Not exactly what you'd want from a Monday Night Raw, especially when you're staying up this late to watch it. Nevertheless, the show must go on, so let's talk about everything that went down on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Well, it's official, Ronda Rousey will be pairing up with General Manager Kurt Angle to take on Triple H and Stephanie in a mixed tag team match at WrestleMania 34. Now, to be honest, as much as we all knew this was going to be happening, I actually thought this segment was pretty decent, and it's nice to see things are starting to move. The ball is beginning to roll. You can't tell Rousey is absolutely loving being in a WWE ring, though she can't help but keep a Cheshire Cat smile from her face. The only thing is, I will say, in the future, she'll have to learn to hide that. For right now, it's actually quite nice to see. It's nice to see that she's enjoying herself and she's obviously happy to be there. Asuka defeated Nia Jax in a hard-fought battle. Now, as you can imagine, Jax had the most of it. She had the power spots. She was absolutely dominant throughout. But the Empress of Tomorrow was just too bloody good. Of course she was. Asuka managed to use her plethora of submission moves to finally get Nia Jax to tap, despite the irresistible force doing her absolute best to hold on. At the end of the match, they kind of waited to let Nia Jax get an applause from the audience, which was interesting because I don't know if that means they're trying to get sympathy for Jax. I'm not sure what was happening there, but the main story here is that Asuka's undefeated streak, thank goodness, remains undefeated. The Bar got the win over the Revival in a match that, quite honestly, just felt like an absolute waste of time. There really wasn't any need for this match. It just felt flat. It felt quick and pointless. Now, I love the Bar, don't get me wrong, but the Revival are an absolutely tremendous team in their own right, and they're just not being given the chance at the moment, and this really didn't feel like the chance that they should be getting. Given that these were the only team really that the Bar hadn't defeated, and they just had that happen on Raw, dead quick, really wasteful, when it seemed like the Revival might have been teed up to be their next sort of opponents. It's not looking good for the Revival, and that really pains me to say that. And it was Big Match John's road to WrestleMania, which hogged the spotlight once again on Monday Night Raw. Cena declared he was going to Fastlane, he was going to win the main event of Fastlane, and ultimately beat Ric Flair's 16-time record, or his kayfabe 16-time record at least. He then teased that could in turn lead to a triple threat match at WrestleMania between him, Nakamura and Styles, if Styles were to cash in his rematch immediately. And boy, oh boy, can you imagine how well that went down with the fans? Oh my goodness. Then randomly, Goldust made an appearance. I know that is exactly what you were expecting me to say next. He came to the ring and said he was going to try and derail John Cena and have his own moment. And do I even need to tell you how that went for him? Here's a spoiler for you. Next up, Bayley was in singles action against Mandy Rose. She managed to get the win over her after overcoming the shenanigans of Absolution, who kept trying to interfere in the match, but it didn't really turn out the best way for Bayley, who got jumped on at the end of the match and beaten down. Sasha Banks then came flying down to the ring to make the save. She cleared out the ring as Sasha Banks looked like she was sort of maybe flirting with the idea of doing something dastardly. She went to give Bayley a lovely hug. Isn't that nice? But what did Bayley do? Bayley pushed her away and stormed out the ring. WWE are continuing to toy with us now. They're making us think, is it going to be Bayley who turns? Is it going to be Sasha who turns? I'm not sure how it's going to go down, but it's happening. It's definitely happening. We just have to wait a little bit longer, it seems. We had Braun and Elias in a Symphony of Destruction match. No, I don't know what that means either. Two men, a bunch of instruments, lots of smashing each other with said instruments, and you kind of hope that was going to save the night. Just like that match last week, I felt like this really wasn't that great. And to be honest, more than anything, it felt really forced. Literally, we did the same two spots again. Elias hit Braun with a guitar, Braun hit Elias with a double bass, and it just felt... WWE essentially just WWE'd it. Actually, you know what? It's really kind of bumming me out thinking about this, because Braun Strowman is pure gold. He's a man who's been on fire, and these last couple of weeks, WWE have just been putting them on ice. Now I've decided to deliver this next part with the enthusiasm that I have inside for what it actually represents. So excuse me while I get into character. Bray Wyatt had a match with Rhino. He was more weird than usual again. That is all. Oh, but there was that little bit at the end of that match where Matt Hardy turned up on screen and said that he and Bray were going to have a fight, and it was going to be where? It's going to be at the Hardy compound. Another shocking surprise that none of us saw coming. That definitely isn't about 2 months too late. You know, it's a real shame this, because I really wanted to want this match. I really wanted to care about Matt Hardy, and I wanted to care about Bray Wyatt. The way they've done this though, it's really made that difficult. I have zero enthusiasm for any of this at the moment, and it's going to take something pretty impressive to turn that around. And then we had the Mizzy Awards, and you know what? I was kind of hoping the Mizzies were going to just bring my spirits back up, because after a fairly average episode of Monday Night Raw, and the Symphony of Destruction had really let me down, we ended up here, and I was really hoping this was going to change my night. And you know what? It was alright. The Miz was on form though, in fairness, and you couldn't expect that from him at this point, but he was on form nevertheless. He was ripping the piss out of Finn Balor, Kurt Angle and Seth Rollins, and then we had Seth Rollins and Balor came out to confront Miz, and eventually the whole thing ended up with the Miz challenging Finn Balor and Seth Rollins to a 3-on-2 handicap match against the Miz and the Miztourage. But it was Balor and Rollins who got the win, the duo managing to put their differences and egos aside eventually, after some hiccups, to get the win over the Miztourage. But more importantly, what we finally got was the answer to the question, who will the Miz be facing at WrestleMania? Now, we pretty much knew this, but it has officially been confirmed by your boy Kurt Angle, who was also obviously part of the piss taking from the Miz earlier. He declared that the Miz would not be facing Seth Rollins or Finn Balor at WrestleMania, but he'd be facing both of them in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And out of all the matches that either of those three men could have ended up in, I'd actually say that's probably a really good outcome. A triple threat match between Miz, Balor and Rollins will actually be fantastic, and actually it might even end up being the match of the night. And finally, to end the show, to put us out of our goddamn misery, it was Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman arrived, graced us with his presence. I was hoping he could bring some more to it. He was actually carrying Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship over his shoulder and waltzing to the ring like the big bad walrus that he is. The Beast Incarnate was nowhere to be seen, but that didn't matter because Paul Heyman, as we know, is dynamite on a microphone, and he picked that up and began to use it as a weapon, as only Paul Heyman can. The Advocate absolutely tore into Roman Reigns, basically criticising him for his comments last week, while also promoting how good of a competitor Roman Reigns is. Of course, Paul Heyman does that like nobody else. He is an absolute professional. He then went on to drop a bullshit live on national television, which is a big no-no in the PG era, because Paul is an edgy little bastard. But profanity and his love for the Universal title aside, and my God, does Paul Heyman sound like he loves that Universal title, it was Roman Reigns who came down to the ring to spoil the party and get the last word. The angle that they're using here is absolutely working, there's no doubt about it. Reigns is very much the guy who's speaking for the people, but also the fact that they're basically putting Brock Lesnar down as a man who doesn't want to be there and doesn't care about the title. So it really is working. The fans are actually getting on Roman's side, which is something we haven't heard in ages. And we managed to hype the fact that Reigns and Lesnar will be going head to head next week on Raw, and we can only hope that it's anything, absolutely anything better than the pile of steaming dog shit that was this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. And that's a wrap, folks. Sorry to end on such a down note, but realistically, I don't really have a choice. It was just, this week's episode was very much a filler episode. It was 3 hours of in-between stuff and nothing great happened particularly. Yes, we got some advancements, but ultimately it just wasn't that exciting. It wasn't that great. But never mind what I think. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe as always. And if you want more content like this, head over to whatculture.com right now and get yourself on there. We've got tons of articles and all sorts of other stuff just for you. And if you also want to go and give us a follow on our Twitter at whatculture.WWE. My name is Adam Nicholas. This has been What Went Down, and a very disappointing episode of Monday Night Raw. And as always, have a great day.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.